Aanii bonjour waganat singodawa nishna bekwe bapa uginishna naman dishnakash magizinga endorum. So good morning. Hello. My name is Meredith Kennedy. I am Little Travers, baby Andodawa Indian. First I want to say thank you. Thank you for watching this video, for taking the time. Typically my stuff is on another platform, but I decided to open up my Native North Storytelling YouTube page. I usually use it to communicate with other parents around Michigan about issues that affect 0 to 3. However, I would like to own and be able to control my own content, so I decided to open up a couple videos. So you may or may not see them depending on what links you have. If you're in my parent collaborative, and then for those in my parent collaborative, now you get a little something extra. So I just want to put that out there first. My video today is specifically about the mascot here in Petoskey at Petoskey Public Schools, the Northman. And I'm going to be taking this in 2 parts of my video today. One is going to be just documents and paper for those people who need to know that. And then the second part is actually going to be my thoughts based on the context of my life and my children being Anishinaakin and attending the school. So I'm going to just preface that. I'm going to try to keep it short. I do have a squirrel above me who's being awfully chatty today, so I do apologize in advance for that. Apparently he's got some stuff to say too. So with that, I just want to, again, thank you for taking the time and listening to this video. So I want to put this out there and I actually have a notebook today because I have dates and times. I'm usually good with timelines, not necessarily specific dates. So I just want to point out for anyone who needs a paper trail of how the Petoskey mascot and what has happened in the last essentially 2 decades, legally or on paper, I just want to put out there that the state of Michigan Board of Education put out a resolution for the use of American Indian mascots, nicknames, and logos on June 26, 2003. So you're more than welcome to Google that. And essentially broken down, it says that they refer it to the local level, but they support the removal. So essentially in 2003, the state of Michigan Board of Education said, there's a problem. We acknowledge a problem. We know that it's going to be a local issue. We're giving that back to the local school boards to do something, but we support the removal of anything that is disparaging to American Indians. So I just want to put that out there. Now, on March 20th, 2005, the Little Travers Band of Waganat-Singodawa, which is part of my tribe, that's what my tribal government is called, they put out a resolution that condemns the use of likenesses, cultural items, mascots, logos, and nicknames. So what does that mean? That was passed unanimously, by the way. So every single person on council on March 20th of 2005 said, yeah, we don't support this. So what does that mean? My tribe votes because it's a sovereign nation. We are a nation within a nation. We vote our elected officials. That means that at that time, every single voted elected official said, we are against the use of the Petoskey Northman. Okay? That's what that means. So when the state of Michigan Board of Education said, leave it locally, the tribe, a sovereign nation, literally passed a piece of tribal resolution, tribal law that said, hey, yeah, we're not down with it. So there's your local level. Okay, so I just want to put that in context for the people who want to say to me, so Meredith, is this what Indians really want? Well, in 2005, that's what we wanted, and we elected all those people. So let's say 15 years later, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what we want. And for other people who say to me, but Meredith, I've heard some Indians aren't about that. And this is when I say, let's look at the fact that this is a sovereign nation. Okay, so there's going to be things that are done by my tribal government that I don't agree with, right? Just like there's things done by the American government that I don't agree with. Kids in cages is one of them. ripping apart families, migrant families, denying farm worker visas. Those are things I don't agree with, but those are the policies and procedures that they put in place, right? So that's when I give that even though we are a government, we are a sovereign nation, we vote, we elect, it is the word of the people, or it's supposed to be the word of the people. So that's when I'm going to give the paper copy of everything. So if you want to do a paper trail, there's the paper trail for what the Board of Education said, and then how the tribe responded accordingly. So there's that. Now, I'm going to give you my context of why I am not a mascot. My children are not a mascot. People in my community are not a mascot. And this is why I feel that way. So, if we look at stereotypes, okay, let's just a little bit of thought experiment here. Let's look at all of the caricatures that are based on humans, okay? We have the Fighting Irish. Great, violent. Nothing like some Fighting Irish. We have the Buccaneers. Okay, so they go around and steal and blow up boats. Okay, we have the pirates. That's great. I'm sure they're not all friendly like Johnny Depp. So we're saying that those are thieves and they're cutthroats. Okay. And then we're going to lump in Northmen, which has the symbol of an Indian head, or what an Indian is supposed to look like. If I took off my earrings right now, would I look less Indian to you? That stereotype perpetuates what nativeness is supposed to look like. Same thing with the lady from Utah on the U-Hauls, and also the Great Lakes, Land of Lakes butter. I clearly don't look like that. So let's just look at the fact that those are the images that are used for mascots that are humanoid are typically violent. Okay. Now let's look at Petoskey's other items that they use to depict the Northmen. We have arrows for the cross-country team. We have spears for the cross-country team. So when I put that in context with an Indian, with a Northman, I now see spears and arrows. So I'm nothing but a merciless Indian savage now, once again. Let's not forget the band and the tomahawk chalk. I know in 2010 I had to have a conversation with students because there was 2 minority indigenous women on staff at Petoskey Public Schools when I worked there. And I got calls from parents saying, hey Meredith, can you do something? So I don't know if they still use that, but let's just think about that. That's perpetuated violence. And then someone asked me, this was a really interesting question in the conversations I had lately. Is the word Northman offensive in general? Well, so there's the argument of the fact that it's very gender biased, because we do have ladies that participate in sports, and then also those who are non-binary. So that's like a thought, okay? But here's a deeper thought. When we talk about pop culture, right? I've asked this question to people not knowing that then I was going to get into the conversation with them about mascots, right? So I asked them, when I say Northmen, what do you think of? And they're like, ooh, Game of Thrones, the guys above the wall. And I was like, great. So the literal boogeyman who are going to destroy your civilization, and you all need to come as kingdoms together to defeat them. Boy, that doesn't perpetuate merciless Indian savages coming, destroying everything. And then the other one I heard that was really interesting was Vikings. And I was like, So Vikings are not known for their exploration or their sailing. They're known for rape and pillaging, burning down villages. Wow, where have I heard that again before in history when we're talking about Native people? So when they ask me, is the name offensive, I'm going to say absolutely yes. Because given the time, pop culture, yeah, I'm going to say that's offensive too. So then as a parent of children who go to Petoskey schools, knowing that you can Google studies from the American Association of Pediatrics, Mental Health, about what logos, stereotypes, and mascots do reflecting a race or a culture of people, what that does for imagery. So I encourage you to do that, because I'm not even going to get down that rabbit hole with all of you today. But as a parent, up at Petoskey Public School students. I'm not sure if all of you are aware, but Petoskey has these little catchphrases at every school. So what I did was I was like, okay, let me think about this in ways that it seems counterproductive to have an Indian mascot, to have a stereotyped mascot, and how we need to think about when people see those little legacy phrases, how we're internalizing those as parents or as students. So I went through and I actually looked at all of the schools in Petoskey that my children went to, will be going to, or are currently going to. So I'm just going to read these to you, okay? So overall, Petoskey Public Schools has a little phrase that says, every opportunity. Oh, that feels good if you're going to send your kids to school. There's every opportunity. Oh my God, that's great. As a parent who's a minority and children who are really a minority, that sounds good, right? So Lincoln, a special place for everyone. My child will be treated special because there is a special place for them. PMS, learning and growing together. Oh my gosh, maybe we'll be inclusive, practice some diversity. Can't wait for those little minds to be filled with good items. And then we get to PHS, home of the Northmen. So now you've degraded my children and other Native children to nothing but a symbol of a merciless Indian savage with your bows and your arrows. How is this every opportunity? Maybe it should actually say some opportunity for some students. I've heard the argument of, but Meredith, a Native drew that. Cool! So keep that part of your history. Have another Native draw your next logo. What better way to honor and respect minority cultures than to have them actually make decisions with you? I can name 2 students right off the top of my head that were some of my students when I worked in Petoskey. And then I also have another woman that I went to school with, grew up in Harbor Springs, who's a graphic artist, all indigenous. And I'm sure there's a ton more that I don't know. So by saying, but that's part of our history, that's part of our heritage. The Confederate flag is some part of some people's heritage. It stands for slavery. And for those who fought a war to not end slavery. That's part of our history, not our current heritage. So there's a big block right there. Make the logo part of your history, but not your living heritage. Take a Native to do the art and honor the fact that the art will always be done by a Native, a local Native even. There's every opportunity here, Petoskey Public Schools, to make this right. And if you're literally living by the logo that is above the home page, you'll make every opportunity to make this right.